to The Light Within, where we explore how to access the wisdom and intelligence from within us to increase our health and vitality from the inside out. My name is Afua from Renewed Spirit Life, and today my guest is Michelle Paul. Michelle was born a highly sensitive, intuitive empath. She loves nature, animals, crystals, water, swimming, and creating. Michelle finds joy hosting cacao ceremonies, women's circles, and conscious community gatherings. Michelle works with several different modalities, such as shamanism, Usui Holy Fire 3 Reiki, and crystal healing, but is most excited about sound healing therapy at this point in her journey, due to its incredibly transformative effects on the mind-body-spirit connection. So thank you, Michelle, for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Pleasure.
So I've known Michelle for just over a year now. And since then, I've been following your social media and I've been seeing the events that you've been hosting. And just through the images, I can just feel like a delicious energy of just feeling it. And, because it's like with a sound healing, it's like I can just feel it through the pictures. And so, and then also when I was reading your description of sound healing, I was really intrigued about learning more. So I'm really excited to hear from you today.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I definitely put a lot of intention behind each post. So the fact that you felt it is just wonderful.
Oh, I can feel it most definitely. So thank you for that. Sharing that light into the world. Like it's all those little things, they do have an impact. I know they have an impact. So thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start by asking you just, how does sound healing work? How does it access that light within us to, increase our well-being?
Absolutely. So the way I see the light within us is spirit, and spirit illuminates every single being on this planet. And the way that I see sound healing really working to access that light within is it helps us to really come into a very meditative state. So without any effort at all, simply by just being in the frequency of sounds from multiple instruments and multiple levels of healing frequencies, we receive. And so our brain naturally goes into a theta brainwave state where we can be open and allow our minds, our overactive minds, to quieten or shut down just for a moment so that we are in this really receptive state.
So yeah, and I feel that. So basically you're saying that the sound helps shift our brainwaves, and so that we're going into a more relaxed, which creates, when we're in that more relaxed space, we're receiving and healing, right?
Absolutely. And every different hertz or frequency, level of frequency, can be directly related to reducing stress in our lives, or if we have anxiety, or if we are a person who often is depressed, especially like with long winters here in Saskatchewan, for instance. So any kind of ailments that we're feeling in our life, we can tune into what frequency will help to bring us into that state that we're looking for, whether it be peace, whether it be a meditative state, whether it be to help us sleep. By simply tuning into those certain frequencies that are derived by different instruments, or even on YouTube, listening through music. There's all sorts of tools you can use out there for free as well if you don't have instruments, but we're really quickly able to align to that frequency. And every single cell in our body reacts to that frequency and brings us into this state of peace or bliss or contentment that we're seeking.
Well, I got like two questions. Like one is, so do you use specific instruments that have specific frequencies, like to pinpoint a particular ailment or issue, or is it just kind of like pretty much any kind of attunement to these harmonious vibrations helps us? Like, how does that work?
That is such a good question. So yes, I have very specifically tuned instruments that I buy at a specific hertz or frequency or vibration. Of course, it's all vibration. So what I would do with somebody, especially in a private session, is they will share to me what their ailments are, or what they're working through, or some frustrations they have in their life, or some illness or disease in their body. And I'll directly relate that to the chakra system or the energy system that it's related to. And so that crystal bowl, that Tibetan bowl, or that gong will be directly related to that chakra system and that frequency. And so when we bring those cells, organs, tissues into a harmonious state of balance where they're naturally supposed to be emanating at, they will heal themselves. So we're raising the vibration so that the physical, mental, emotional body can literally just heal itself. It's quite magical.
Yeah, I'm just getting goosebumps hearing about it. Like, it's so amazing how our body works. Like, one of the first books I read when I was kind of starting my healing journey was called The Healer's Manual by Ted Andrews. Ooh. And he talked about many different types of modalities. I guess in a way it's almost inspired what I'm doing now with this interview series, just about how all of it is so related to vibration. All of these modalities, it's all about the vibration. And like you're saying, is if you can pinpoint a certain organ to get it vibrating at the right, harmonious fashion, it knows how to heal itself. It just needs that a little help, a little boost to kind of get to that.
Yeah, you're accessing the body's innate intelligence, right?
Yay!
I have goosebumps too. When you're like, I have goosebumps, I'm like shivering over here because it feels so in resonance.
and it's just like, this is why I'm doing it, so people can see that there's many different options they have to tackle. Like you said, it could be a physical ailment, it could be depression, or a mental emotional issue. There's so many different ways we can do this. Now, one other question is, I'm just trying to find it here. You mentioned something somewhere about the stable energy of the instrument. Do you remember what you said about that? Basically about how, because the energy of the instrument is stable, this is how it's helping our bodies. Because I guess in a way our bodies is kind of, right, with our thoughts and emotion, can become pretty chaotic.
Thank you. That's exactly it. So because we're in this human vessel with all sorts of things going on, our energy can shift by an emotion that we feel, by a thought that we have. Of course, we can produce and manifest into reality how we feel, think, speak, write, kind of in our spellings, if you will. Whereas an instrument is a solid. It's always in the same state. It was created in this form. So that the makeup of it all isn't shifting and changing like a human body is. So that creates a really stable vibration. And that's exactly what we're really seeking at the end of the day, is a stable vibration for whatever it is we're wanting to call it. Right. So we're really struggling with our sleep patterns, and we are going to want to be in a theta brainwave state where we're relaxed, receptive, and ready to have that deep REM sleep. And so a certain instrument or attunement can really help to align you with that state. So you would have a meditation perhaps before you went to bed, play a crystal bowl, or tune into any frequency music through any outlet that you really listen to, and really start to sense your body and your vibration come to that state of peace. And then watching your breath as you start to slow down that breath as well, and then become into that space where you could fall asleep. So it's a really helpful tool in so many ways.
Yes, because sleep is a huge thing, I think, probably for a lot of people. And just even that example is, it can use the vibration of sound to help us to calm everything that's been going on during the day, to come down into peace. Now, how did you come to use this modality, and or how does it affect you on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so I have a really interesting story. Kind of any modality that I did get into was like, okay, well, I don't really know where I can go to receive this. I didn't know anyone that was into Reiki, really. I didn't know anyone that was into sound healing, really. And so I just dove headfirst into these modalities. But with sound healing specifically, I actually went to a sound bath. So it was like a gong bath, cacao ceremony, and they had yoga being offered all day. It was this beautiful retreat. And so I got to experience Kundalini yoga, cacao ceremony, and then a gong bath sort of back to back. And the yoga allowed me to get really into my body and really present. The cacao helped me to open up my heart center and really receive everything I was about to experience for the first time, which was the healing frequencies and waves. I could actually feel, like, audibly and physically could feel the waves of the gongs rushing over my body. And I remember that I never felt in that space so connected to myself, so connected to Great Spirit. And literally everyone in the room, whether I knew them or not, they were like, it was like brothers, sisters, we are one. And it just really brought me into my heart so much. And I remember going into it all feeling very anxious and not knowing what to expect, and really just feeling like, do I even belong here? And when I left, I was like, I belong here. These are all of my brothers and sisters. I am so connected with myself. I feel so at peace. Like, I don't know what to do with myself. Should I go dancing? Should I go take a nap? Like, I don't even know how to be. And I remember actively seeking more sound healing and more of these experiences, and they just weren't offered. And so this was in Regina, and I live in Outlook. I do a lot of my practice and events in Saskatoon. And I remember searching all over the web, like, where can I go to a sound bath? Where can I go to a gong bath? And there just wasn't anything being offered. And so the person that did the gong bath that I went to, his name is Sundance. And I remember reaching out to him, like, fangirl reaching out and just like, can I hire you? Can we bring you to this yoga studio? Can we do an event together? Can I privately hire you? Like, how does this work? And he's just like, I'm so busy right now. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not able to do any of that. So I remember after 2 years of just like actively seeking it out and not finding it, I finally just bought my first gong and bought my first set of bowls. Yeah, and I just started to practice. I started to experience it and channel the energy and see how I felt and what sounded good for me. And then I just began to slowly share that in private sessions and then events. And yeah, here we are.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it sounds the way you're describing it. It's like your body, your mind, your soul, whatever. All of this was just calling, like you needed it. And then that was the way to just say, hey, well, I guess since nobody's doing it, you're the one.
One
who needs to do it.
Exactly it. It was, it activated something within me that I needed to experience again. And it's very interesting because in this past couple of years, working with sound healing, it's been such a difference in just either somebody that first experiences it has massive resistance, because those are typically the ones that need it the most, right? And so they're feeling this like beautiful frequency that they haven't been in alignment with for quite some time. They've gotten used to sort of maybe feeling low energy, maybe feeling kind of down. And with COVID and with everything that's happened over the last couple of years, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And so they're not recognizing the frequency that they're feeling, and that can really throw somebody off. However, sometimes by the end of a sound healing session, or the next time they come to experience it, they feel and they report that their body is craving that. Exactly how I felt. Yes, they're craving that. They need that. Their cells are like igniting for this frequency, for this energy healing. So that is just amazing to me.
That is amazing. And I truly feel that, human consciousness is shifting. And this really seems like a very accessible thing. Like, as long as you can actually go to a place, like if, it's like no prerequisites required. You can just kind of lay there or sit or lay and just receive.
Absolutely. That's such a good point. Thank you for saying that, because literally you could be at any point in your consciousness, any point in your ascension, either awakened, not awakened yet. It really doesn't matter. Every single walk of life, from children, pregnant women have come experience and actually reported feeling baby like kicking and just responding to that energy in such a positive way. So it's for everyone. And if you don't have access to a sound healer in your community, you can easily tap in online. There's lots of free resources. And it can be, just such a helpful tool to even play these frequencies while we sleep, while we do our dishes, if we're driving, anything like that. So it can be very accessible in that way.
Oh, cool. Yes. Thank you for sharing all of this. It just sounds just beautiful. Like I need to go to I don't go to Saskatoon as much, but I need to make a point to come and experience one of your sound baths and one of your circles. Sounds very beautiful. Now, what tip? Okay, you have given a tip or two, about just accessing online. But do you have any other tips you have that a person watching can use to kind of harness this sound healing for themselves?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that one of the biggest things I want to share is long before I got into working with instruments, I was aware of frequency healing, and I was aware that our bodies resonate at certain frequencies when we're feeling a certain way. So one of the best tools I started using about 5 years ago is right before I go to sleep, I just type into YouTube or whatever you use to access music. And I would put in, for instance, if I felt like I was really stressed, or if I felt like I wanted to raise my frequency or connect more with my higher power, or if I wanted to connect with God's source creator, I would just simply type into the search bar, raise my frequency. And, or for instance, calm the mind frequency. And so many options would come up, and just intuitively choosing which one I felt in resonance with. And I would play that while I slept. So my husband wouldn't mind, my boys don't mind. They all love it now, and they all want to hear a different frequency. And they'll say, Mom, I really feel like I need help to fall asleep. So I'll look into frequency to help fall asleep, or for deep sleep, or for REM sleep, right? And so now it's something like the whole family uses. And we've actually seen such huge shifts over the last 5 years that we've been doing this in our waking life and balancing our subconscious frequency to align with our consciousness, just to really call in miracles and all sorts of beautiful things into our life. So that's like the number one tip that I would share for sure. And then, of course, there's instruments that are very affordable, like rain sticks or smaller Tibetan bowls that you could sample with. Or, some people have used instruments and they're no longer wanting to use them anymore. So you can get things secondhand as well. You could trade. Yeah, you can rent instruments from Long and McQuaid. So you can really sample with different sounds and different frequencies that are in alignment for you.
Yes. Yeah, you're just encouraged, because I have a few instruments, and sometimes I just kind of even forget that's available too. And I love the idea about for kids too. My daughter, my little one, she generally sleeps pretty good, but sometimes there's difficulty in settling down when things are pretty exciting, which I think is pretty normal for most kids. Exactly. That's such a good tool to use to just, hey, even on getting ready for bed. Because I know I've tried to put music on when she was a bit younger. Tried to put music on, and she said, "Turn that off," or whatever. But sometimes when I found that when we've done it on getting ready for bed, that's a good way to bring it down. Yeah, exactly. My child knows what she likes and what she doesn't like.
That's so funny. It just reminded me of the boys too when they're younger. So they're 9 years old now. So yeah, about 4 years old. And I would just type in 432 hertz rain sounds. And so they wouldn't even be aware of anything other than I'm playing lullabies, right? Oh, can you put rain sounds on, Mom? Yeah, sure. So I'm able to pick the hertz that I want. So the miracle tone, 432 hertz, is something I work with a lot. It's in resonance with the earth. So the 369 frequency. So our body is very open and receptive to this, and really brings us into that connection with earth. So that state of natural being, right? And so that's one trick for moms that I would definitely share. Rain sound at 432 hertz. Good night.
Yeah. We need all the tricks we can get. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yes. And I love that you have your instruments too. And, if we do feel comfortable leaving them out for children to play with, my sons are always welcome in my space. The instruments are always set up and out. And yeah, even though they are only 9, they've been working with instruments as long as we've had them as well. And Sometimes they come home from school and you can tell they've taken on a lot of that energy, a lot of that density, and they just need to decompress. So processing emotions through working with these instruments and through sound healing as well, I've witnessed over and over again. It's just incredible. So definitely if you're a parent who has a guitar or drums, they love playing on my Native American drums, anything like that, that just like connects you to the heartbeat. Such a soothing way to just connect as well. And then we're teaching them tools to recalibrate, to process and feel through their emotions. There's just so many healthy ways to connect as a family as well through these instruments.
Yes. Oh, again, the goosebumps are coming again. For our children to learn healthy ways, healthy, no side effects ways of recalibrating, getting back in a positive, harmonious place. Exactly. That's what we all need. And especially our kids from an early age, because there's so many factors much different factors than myself growing up that they're exposed to. So yeah, how do we mitigate all these other energies that are so predominant sometimes?
Exactly. It can be a lot.
Yeah. So now how can people find you? How can people hear about your events? Oh, and please tell us, you've got monthly events going on. Let us know how we can connect.
Okay, all the juicy stuff. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's like, can be a weird, awkward thing to talk about yourself or your offering sometimes, but it's like, yeah, we're doing this for a reason, right? We're supporting our community. So once a month, I work with my friend Amber, who's a yoga instructor. So again, going back to that, getting really deeply into the body through yoga, through practice, through breath work. And then I guide us through a meditation and then slowly integrate the sound into the whole experience. And so we have about an hour of yoga and then a meditation and sound baths for about an hour as well. And so we do that together once a month at Pura Vida. So it's a really beautiful space right downtown in Saskatoon. It's been a community that we've seen growing over the last few months, and we're just really excited to continue to offer that. So that's something that my heart is just in pure bliss and joy over. And then there are other little events here and there. I work with another friend of mine, Malika, and she does the most beautiful kirtan. So playing the guitar, so healing music there, and then all of my instruments as well. So we're chanting and we're raising our vibration together in this like incredible community that is just such an open-minded, conscious community. And I'm really grateful for that. And I always share all of these events so people can find me on Instagram at Sovereign Soul. And hopefully you can link that below because it is a tricky spelling.
Yes, I will.
My handle.
In the description, yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and other than that, sometimes there's retreats and other offerings that are more than a couple of hours. But most of these offerings are about 2 hours, and they're usually in the evenings and weekends. So all of our mom friends can join, and sometimes their moms come too. Like, it's just incredible to see partners coming as well.
So this is open to both men and women? Yes. There are certain events that are for women, and that will be really clear when that's the case. But we've been doing everyone welcome, and it's been really nice. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, thank you, Michelle, for joining me here today. It's been amazing, and I really hope people check you out or just use these tools that you've mentioned and really use the sound healing. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure. And I also just want to say that I have experienced your DNA activations and working with you. And I really cannot just recommend you enough. Like, your energy is so beautiful and gentle, and you just have such an awareness of how to best support people through their journey. And it's just such an honor to know you, to connect.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for that as well. I love doing it, and I love connecting. I'm, through that I also connected with you, and so yes. So I also want to just say thank you to everyone who's watching, And I will see you next time on The Light Within. Please support my channel by subscribing to Renewed Spirit Life, liking this video, and sharing it with anybody who you know might be interested in some of these topics we're covering. It's such a powerful time that we live in, that we can share the light and we can share that we have so much strength within us to increase our health and vitality. And if you are on Facebook, find me and find all the people who've been interviewed, all my guests, on the Light Within Facebook group. Take care.